What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Talking Halos. I'm your host today, Jared Timms, and I'm joined alongside my co-host, my partner in crime, Nate Green. Nate, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Happy Thanksgiving.
We already
A
said
couple
happy
days
Thanksgiving.
after. I
Thanksgiving
know, but it's a
last
couple
one.
days after. Have to say it again.
Happy Black Friday. Happy Thanksgiving weekend. What do we got next? Kwanzaa's coming up. I actually don't know that. I think it's in December though. I have to look. Eh. All right.
Christmas time.
All right.
Let's get her
Well,
going.
let's get it going here, guys. So thank you all so much for watching and listening to this podcast here at Talking Halos. Go ahead and subscribe wherever you may be listening or watching. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the bell. You can follow us on all our social medias, X, Instagram, and Facebook. You can follow myself on X at Jared_Timms, Nate at NateGreen34. Let's get it rolling. Angels made a move. Angels made a couple moves. If we really want to get into it, Angels did make
Yes.
did make a couple moves. They made a major league signing. They added the 40-man. They're at 39 now. They signed reliever, lefty specialist, I'd like to call it, Adam Kolarek, to a 1-year, $900,000 deal. Pitched for the Dodgers last year, pitched for the Mets last year. Yes, he did pitch for the Dodgers. I looked it up.
Yep.
I know.
For like one outing.
Yeah, there's a couple outings. Actually, the overlay that I did on Twitter, on X or Twitter,
Yeah. One major league
was
outing.
what was from the Dodger outing. Struck out 2 in that. And then did he get hurt or get DFA'd or get traded or what happened? I didn't keep up with it. I don't know what happened. Regardless, major league deal, reminiscence of the Brett Phillips deal. I'm whatever. I don't care. Do you care? Do you initial thoughts, reactions? Lefty reliever, like, are you happy they're not signing somebody for $7 million, right?
Of course. Of course. It does feel very much like he was like, I got a major league deal. Like, what? Like, that's kind of what it feels like to me.
Phillips.
Like I think the Angels are probably the only team that were giving him a major league deal. I think everyone else was hoping to get him on a minor league deal. He had great numbers last year. To be fair to him, he pitched against the Angels twice in August. I mean, if you're pitching against the Angels twice in August, you should have good numbers because that lineup was absolutely miserable that they ran out there in August. So he should help with the Angels, but he is a strictly left-handed guy. Like, not really, shouldn't get too many righties out. Kind of what you thought Aaron Loop should have been. So hopefully they use him correctly, because if they use him correctly, he could have a fine year. But he should not be used in the role that they used Aaron Loop in, like the 7th, 8th inning to get key outs. He should be a guy who come in, 2 outs, runner on 2nd, 3rd, and you got to go get a big lefty out. Sure, but so yeah, hopefully they use him right. Could be good. Different arm angle, which is nice. So there's some good things about it, but there are also some scary things because we have seen the Angels use the bullpen and it has not been good the way they've used it. So, yeah.
For me, you look at the 40-man, and while I know we said not all that excited about a major league deal for a guy like this, would rather see him on a minor league deal. How many guys in the bullpen is he better than? Like, just kind of going over a couple guys here. Kelvin Caceres. I mean, Kolarek has major league experience. I don't know if he's better than Caceres. Sam Bachman, I'll take Bachman. Herget,
Yep.
Ingram, I'll probably take Kolarek over both those guys. You know, Herget's probably very similar.
Yeah, I was going to say him and Herget are pretty close. I'd rather take the lefty
opposites.
because, yeah, I'd rather take the lefty over Herget. So
It's fine.
he's
Ben
not better than
Joyce.
Joyce.
No, I mean, just Jose Quijada is going to miss a lot of the season. Kenny Rosenberg, a friend of the show, but probably pretty similar pitchers. You probably give the edge of Rosenberg because he can start. So I mean, it's very
He's
similar
not
to what you
better
have.
than Soriano. He's not better than Estevez. He's not better
Wants
than
Warren. You
yeah.
know, he's on that level. So it's fine.
I don't think he's better than Wants. He's probably better than Warren.
It's fine. It is what it is. Warren is also going to miss probably the start of the season because of Tommy John. He'll probably be back maybe in beginning of spring or something like that. But yeah, I mean, you get where I'm going with this. Are there better options? Yes. I guess it kind of depends on what your feeling is for the bullpen. And if you're going to take a positive away from this, and we won't talk too much about this because it's not a huge deal, not a huge signing. They didn't spend a lot of money on that.
Yeah.
They also made some smaller moves. They signed Charles LeBlanc, infielder, played in the Miami Marlins organization last year, had a 110 WRC plus in AAA. I think it was 106 to be I kind of hyped that up a little bit more. And the guy that I'm a little more interested in, Alan Rangel, just a nice solid depth arm, low, can probably pump a mid 90s, has a good slider, good changeup. I mean, just does it, but he's a good depth arm, not going to do anything crazy. He's going to go pitch in Salt Lake and probably have a 5+ ERA because that's what all pitchers do there, and it's probably going to be pretty solid. And you hope you talk about like a guy like Charles LeBlanc, very Kevin Padlo like, and Alan Rangel. You hope you don't see those guys, and if you do, you hope you see them maybe 1 or 2 games in there. 3 or 4 games for Charles LeBlanc. For Rangel, you hope you don't hear too much about these guys, right? Other than what we're
Winning
talking
teams
about.
don't have those guys. Winning teams won't have those guys on the roster ever. Like,
Well,
if you're honest, like Atlanta would never have this guy on the roster unless it's September and they're just running a guy out there to be like, well, we don't want to.
Atlanta signed your favorite
hurt it.
player.
Huh?
Atlanta signed your favorite player to a minor league deal.
Yeah, minor league deal. That guy never saw the field in a major league. Never saw the major league roster.
He started
for the Atlanta Braves
late in the season. Come on.
He was on the Atlanta Braves, but he never saw the major league field, which is exactly how you're supposed to use him. So Andrew Velasquez re-signed with the Braves, and that guy should never be on a major league roster that is competing for a playoff spot.
That's fine.
Fine.
It's fine. I'll give it to you. On to some more news for the Angels. John Heyman came out with it today. Angels have been linked to Robert Stevenson, reliever for the Cincinnati.
Yeah, not shocked. Absolutely not shocked.
Way. Go ahead, get it out.
Yeah, let's see if we can give him $15 million to be a 6th inning reliever and knowing him, he'll probably regress because his best year came with Tampa Bay. Let's go with the what have you done for me lately, not the what is your overall body of work. And yeah, I think he fits what Perry likes to do. Let's go out and give him $15 million, be a reliever. He'll throw in the 6th inning, end up with a 4.7 ERA, and it'll be great.
I'll say this: if history repeats itself and ERA repeats itself, he's due for a bad year. I'd prefer not to give this guy a Ryan Tepera, Aaron Loop type of deal.
Did you see the money he's projected for?
I don't want to know. I really
4 years, $40 million
for a 30-year-old. For a 30-year-old, I'm not giving that. I mean, to be fair, that's pretty close.
Years.
That's close to Tyler Anderson money, right? And to go back over this, 2019 he had a 2.8 ERA. 2020, take it for what it's worth, he had a 6.3. 2021 he had a 3.9 ERA. 2022 he had a 4.7 ERA. Last year, best ERA of his career, 2.73. Split time between Cincinnati and the Rays, if I'm not mistaken. Very interesting pitcher. Was a very interesting pitcher. Am I giving a bullpen arm that type of money? Absolutely not. I mean, he's probably going to get 10+ million. He's probably going to get more than Carlos Estevez got, right?
Yes.
What is Estevez getting? 9?
9.5.
9.5? Yeah. So I think he's going to get more than Estevez, and that's not something that I'm really comfortable and really in on, especially. And Nate, I'm going to use your term here, especially not for somebody that's a closer. That's not a closer, should I? No, let me
that's
say that.
Not a closer.
Not a closer. So yeah, that's for me. This has all the signs of just a rough.
Can I just make the Stevenson thing even worse?
Go ahead.
Just because, yeah. 5.14 ERA with Pittsburgh last year. Rays pick him up, and of course he lowers his ERA to 2.35. Yeah, I'm not taking a chance on that. Like, we'd probably have him closer to the Pittsburgh numbers than the Tampa Bay numbers, knowing how we do things. Well, and I'm not paying $11 million for a guy who's going to pitch in the 7th inning.
Well, to be fair, the Angels have done better than they have done with pitching. You look at what the Angels
guys that they've spent money on, how have they done?
Producing. Their Angels are not the Rays. I'm just going to leave it at that. The Angels are not the Rays.
How have the Angels done with
Angels are not the Rays
throwing money at pitching?
Angels are not the Rays with producing any type of talent. To be fair, like the Angels are not on the level of the Rays, the Astros, the Dodgers, the elite teams, the very good teams at producing, and playing good baseball. The Angels just aren't at that level. So, yeah, I'm with you on that. If it's $5 million makes you feel a little bit better. If it's where he's being projected and where people think and where it sounds like he's going to get, I'm 100% not in on that. That's not a good feeling for me. Speaking of money, by the way, to transition on to our next topic here, man, dudes. First off, the Cardinals are taking every pitcher that I kind of liked. I'm not a huge wasn't a huge fan of Sonny Gray, but I did bring up
5-inning masterpiece.
did bring up Lance Lynn. I thought, innings eater type of guy. They got Kyle Gibson, one of those innings eater type of guys. Saw this on MLB Network. I forgot who it was. The beat writer for the St. Louis Cardinals was talking about it. And they're buying innings in bulk. The Cardinals are. Now a couple things I want to say about what the Cardinals have done. First off, how do you feel about buying innings in bulk, especially, and a lot of people aren't thinking about this. A lot of people are saying like the Angels pitching staff is fine. They're deep enough. We are the complete opposite, that we're saying they need to do something in the rotation. They need to do something
Two
very guys.
Bad.
The Angels have not pitched in a 5-man rotation. They pitched for what, 50 games last year in a 5-man rotation. It wasn't even 50 games, a month of a 5-man rotation. And then they haven't done it. They haven't done it since Ohtani got hurt the time before that. That scares me. This rotation.
Was it 2 years ago? 3 years ago? 3 years ago.
3 years ago. Regardless, this rotation is completely different than what it was 3 years ago. First off, you have Reed Detmers, who was trained. I don't want to call
drafted that year.
I don't want to call it trained, but he was trained to be a guy who pitches, every 5th day instead of every 4th day. Patrick Sandoval, he's been pitching every 5th day. Griffin Canning every 5th day. Who am I missing in there? Chase Silseth has been trained to pitch every 5th day. So I'm missing.
To play devil's advocate to you though, when you're talking about guys trained to pitch 5 days instead of 4, look at the Angels' numbers after those guys went to the 4-man rotation. The Angels starting pitching actually got better when last month of the year. But there is some positive signs to that, right? Like to see them get better and actually continue to throw quality innings. Like Detmers was still throwing 6-7 innings. You saw some quality innings out of Silseth when he was healthy. Sandoval, threw some games where he was deep into the games late. So that is the positive side to that, but it's a small sample size. How many months can the Angels get away with that with this rotation? Maybe 2.5, right? Like you're looking at April and May, and then June they're going to be in trouble because this team, they just haven't thrown enough innings. Sandoval and Detmers and Silseth, Canning, like you're needing 160, 170 innings just to get through this year, let alone you got to be really good. So they do need a lot of innings.
I'm trying to look up those stats for you. When would it be? September,
yeah.
All September, huh?
I mean, he technically, it was like August. It might have been 45 games, but anyway, going back to your question with, would you like to buy innings in bulk like St. Louis? For me, I don't love what St. Louis did. St. Louis is in a different spot than the Angels are for a couple of reasons. One, they have no starting pitching. Like if the season started tomorrow, the Cardinals would have been running out there Steven Matz, Miles Michaelis, Matthew Liberatore, and then minor leaguers. Like they're in a completely different spot. So what the Cardinals did, they went and got some veteran guys that were going to eat up some innings. They have some young guys like Tink Hence, I believe is his name. He's going to be unbelievable. He has a shot to be like the next ace for them. He's probably about 3 or 4 months away. He might make the team out of spring, but I think St. Louis is probably thinking, well, give him a couple months and let him take over in June or July and be there for that part of the year. So they're trying to like get innings eaters for the beginning stretch and then let some younger guys take over at the home stretch. The Angels don't have that luxury, right? They're not going to be running out there. Oh, hey, let me just go run out there. This starting pitcher who's going to be a dude for June, July, August, September. They don't have that. The Angels need to go get dudes. They need to go get an actual ace to front line this staff, because if somehow this team were to make the playoffs, Patrick Sandoval starting game one, there's not one team that is a legitimate playoff team that you would say, you know what, the Angels are probably the favorites in game one against them. Not one.
Who are the Royals throwing up? I'm just kidding.
I said legitimate playoff team. I'm not counting them as a legitimate playoff team. Obviously, they can shock some people and make the playoffs, but in game one, the Angels are underdogs. And if you want to play that game, the Angels are underdogs against probably 11 of 14 teams in the American League. Like, you're probably favored against Oakland, probably favored against Kansas City, just from the starting pitching standpoint, not including like roster and things like that.
You favored against Boston?
Chris Sale, no. Or if Brian Bello takes that next step, like he kind of finished the year really well, he's got a shot to be
the White Sox.
Dylan Cease, no.
Not if they have Cease. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, no, I mean
you're the dog in like 12 or 13 of the matchups. Oakland and Kansas City. Detroit is a possibility as well. That would be that third team for me. That's like, I like what they have, but I don't know if they have an ace. Casey Mize has shown he's been good, but he's coming off the TJ Manning kind of good. Screwball has been good, but he hasn't been healthy enough. So those are the three teams that you might be favored against in a postseason series, and none of those teams are making the postseason right now. None. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So
I agree.
They need an ace. Patrick Sandoval should be the third starter of a playoff team. So this team needs to go get guys. You can't just go get guys. You got to go get a dude. And I know I've preached Marcus Stroman. I know I've preached Aaron Nola. Those are the type of guys I want the Angels to go get. Marcus Stroman fits this team as a 2. I think he does. With where the Angels are at, I think he makes a lot of sense as the number 2. But they also need to find a frontline guy. And it could be one of those things where you say, you know what? We'll run it with Marcus Stroman, Sandoval, Detmers, Silseth, and Canning or Anderson. Hopefully not Anderson. But you can run those 5 guys out there, and then if it's July and the Angels are somehow in it, then you go find that next starting pitcher, which maybe Corbin Burns is not. Maybe Corbin Burns comes down in value. Maybe there's somebody available that we're not even thinking about could be available right now. So it's possible, but like, you don't want to go into a season knowing that you're an underdog in 11 of 14 playoff games.
I don't disagree that you need an ace, because they need an ace. However, you need somebody who's going to throw over 150 innings. At the moment, I don't think you have a guy that's like, yeah, that guy's throwing over 150 innings next year, right? Like, you're at that point.
If Detmers is, I think Detmers has that ability to. He's been healthy. He hasn't.
Just saying, like, you don't have that guy that you for sure know he's going to go over 150 innings. For me, I know you need an ace. I do, which brings me up to the next point when talking about the Cardinals. Sonny Gray getting $25 million a year, that does not help the Angels market at all in getting a top line pitcher. I said, who was the first guy to sign? Nola, right? What did he get? Nola. 23, was it? 24 a year? I guess he got
his number was really good.
Yeah, he got 24 a year for 7 years. And it was like, well, that's kind of where it's going to start. No one, I don't think, is going to get really any more than that. You look at a guy like Blake Snell, who probably is going to get a little bit more. He's coming off Cy Young.
He could get 25 a year.
Well,
I would not pay.
We were saying that, but now look at what Sonny Gray gets at the age 34. He gets 25 a year. What's Snell going to ask for? 30?
I don't think so. I think that I think that teams are you have one of 2 options. If your teams, you either are giving length in years or you are giving more money. And like, you saw this happen last year. The trend of this was last year with the shortstops. Everyone thought Trey Turner was getting 35, 40 million. You thought Carlos Correa was getting 40 million. You thought Xander Bogaerts is getting 30 million. And teams said, you know what, we'll give you 10, 11, 12 years. and we'll make it 25, 27 million instead of 35, 40 million. So you're going to have guys like a Blake Snell who's like, ooh, I could take 25 million at 7 years, or I could take 30 million at 5 years. Would I rather have the 2 extra years of 25 million, or would I rather have the 30 million a year? So I think that's what you're really going to be in the negotiation with is, do you go that extra 2 or 3 years to bring the money down, or do you stay, because Sonny Gray, he doesn't really have the long-term value, right? Like you're not signing him for 6-7 years. He's 34 years old. You're really not going to want to sign him for 5 years. So his market, I think, is different than a Blake Snell, a Yamamoto, those type of guys.
You know who sounds really good right now on what people are expecting him to get? Yoshinobu Yamamoto. An
I
8-year
agree.
deal at the age of 25. That's
Yeah, no,
somebody you build around in a legit ace
I
type of
tried
guy.
to talk you into it. You keep telling me he's getting 300 million. I don't think he gets 300 million. I think he's getting somewhere around that Aaron Nola type contract. It might be a little bit more because Aaron Nola, probably took a little bit of a hometown discount, which I think it actually is. He did take a little bit of a hometown discount, if we're going to be honest. But I think if you're looking at
8 for
200 million
220?
for 8 years, like, are you really upset about giving a 25-year-old 200 million over 8 years?
No, not at
That's
all.
25 mil a year.
Not at
Like,
all.
I would do that in a heartbeat. That's the guy that you build this rotation around. He can pitch every fifth day.
You want to know what becomes even more interesting? He's a rookie of the year candidate too.
Yeah,
All of a
no,
sudden, and that
and
makes the
he,
Angels get a draft pick back from that.
yeah, because he'll be in the top 100 of
Yeah. Yep.
MLB.com's
Absolutely.
prospect pipeline. So yeah, he changes the way an organization
Yeah.
does things because he is a rookie of the year favorite no matter where he goes. AL, NL, he will be a rookie of the year favorite. He will be in the top 100, so you will get a draft pick for him. There are some really good things to Yamamoto, and 8 years at 200 million, like 25 a year. I'm willing to go 25 a year for a guy who's going to be. He is an ace. Like he's got ace like stuff. Koto Senga was good last year. He was a really good pitcher, and I think he has a chance to be better than Kodai Senga.
Yeah, and you don't put it past Artie
Senga.
Moreno. You don't put it past Artie Moreno with that market. I mean, Artie Moreno
We did
knows.
already say that he will replace that market at some point.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a very good replacement there. So, yeah, I mean, just looking at the numbers, looking at the figures that guys are getting right now, like Sonny Gray getting 25 a year, Aaron Nola getting 24 a year, and at the age they're at 34 and 30 is what 34 and 32, 31.
31.
Those are tough numbers to swallow. And you look at a guy like Yamamoto, who's 25 years old, and you're probably going to give him. I mean, he's probably, even if he gets 30 a year, right? Eight for 30 type of thing. 9 for 27 or something like that. It makes sense. It makes a
Yeah,
lot.
even if he's willing to go 9, like he's like
That puts him at age
every
34.
pitcher, it's like getting a top end Division 1 guy, like that's already pitched in the minor leagues for 2 or 3 years. Like it's almost like drafting a pitcher, having him go through the minor leagues 2 years, and then you're signing him to a big contract, which I'm okay with. Especially since he's going to bring that ace like stuff, which is going to put the Angels in a position to be like, hey, we're favorites in 13 of 14 games or 12 of 14 games. Like the only game that we're probably an underdog in is when we have to see Garrett Cole, and then maybe Max Scherzer or Justin Verlander, depending on how they're actually pitching, because we've seen Verlander and Scherzer weren't Verlander and Scherzer towards the end of the year. They were still very good pitchers, but they weren't their normal selves. So that could change the way the Angels look at the season instead of like, well, our game 1 starter is Patrick Sandoval, and we can match up with probably 24 teams, and we're an underdog in 24 of the 29 teams that we could open the season with. So that's why I'm frustrated with the starting pitching market. I think the Angels need to go get him. And I think Yamamoto is the best pitcher that's left available. I'm not a big Blake Snell guy. I think he walks too many guys. He has too many up and down years. Doesn't pitch enough innings every. He's not a. You're writing in 170, 180 innings. He's done that twice in his career. Not really excited about that. Yes, the 2 times he has done it, he has been a Cy Young guy, but he also walked almost 100 guys this year, and it just not super excited about Blake Snell. He'll be great wherever he goes, and I'm sure the Dodgers or somebody is going to be super happy they got him, but just not a guy I'm willing to take a risk on because his ceiling is good, but his floor isn't great. He's got a really bad floor, in my opinion. I'd rather go with Yamamoto, who might cost me a little bit more, but I think his floor is way higher.
Yeah, he's not even in his prime yet when you think about it. We're just going to start seeing his prime. So, yeah, I'm all for it. I make the joke off the record. Like, can I just sign Shohei Ohtani as a pitcher? Because I love Shohei Ohtani as a pitcher. Like, he's a fantastic hitter, but I love watching Shohei Ohtani as a pitcher. That this is, I mean, it's very similar to what you're getting there. And then down the road, the conversation starts becoming, I forgot his name, Roki Sasaki. Oh man, that kid's gonna be a stud. I cannot. That's gonna be so much money though. But
you don't want to wait on that because you don't know how long it's going to be. That could be 5, 6, 7, 8 years before he decides.
You build around Yamamoto. That's the thing. Like you got this. You get a kid for 8, 9 years. It's an organizational type change. It's like when the Angels got Shohei Ohtani. There was that organizational type of change. It was like, wow, like things are headed in the right direction. At that time it felt like, and like you have Ohtani, you have this kid Adele, you have these guys, you have Mike Trout, you have Albert Pujols. Like, granted, yes, I know Justin Upton, it didn't work out, but like there was that little bit of an organizational type of change that was really, really cool to see when the Angels signed Shohei Ohtani, and I think it could happen again if the Angels were to sign Yoshinobu Yamamoto. So what do you got for
Yeah,
me?
if they sign
Any final thoughts?
Yamamoto, then you get super excited about the pitching rotation. It's you have Detmers for 3, 4 more years. You have Silseth for 5, 6 more years. You got Cade and Dana, who's probably going to be there right when Yamamoto's in his prime. So you're gonna have like him as like a number 4 guy. This rotation would get super, super exciting and like just everything that he would bring to this team of like, oh wow, we actually have a chance every 5th day, which that was kind of the thing with Ohtani. Whenever he was on the mound, it was like, hey, we got a chance every 6th day that you're on the mound, but we can't be going out there going, yeah, Patrick Sandoval gives us a chance to win, but if he's having to face Garrett Cole and Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander and Framber Valdez, like he's not going to be as successful in those type of games because he's going to have a very small room for error, where Yamamoto is that type of guy who can go out there and go 7, 8 shutty and turn it over to Soriano or Joyce and be like, boom, ball game over. Let's move on. We win the game 1-0. So yeah. I'm in total agreement. I brought his name up off the record probably a week or 2 ago to you, and I think I finally got you on board.
I wasn't on board because of the figure that was involved with it. The numbers you start hearing off the record about what some of these guys are getting. But when you start looking at it more and more, it's like Sonny Gray got this amount, Aaron Nola got this amount. It's like, well, I mean, maybe 27, 28, $30 million a year isn't horrible for a 25-year-old. Plus, and this will be my final thought here before we let everybody go, the Angels' window to win, when you really look at it, is not next year, right? When you think about it, it's really not.
He could make the window next year, though.
You could. No, I don't think he makes it next year. I think a good offseason does. Like, I think that you can.
But like he's part of the offseason that makes it there, right? Like you need to go get an ace, and whether that's him, Blake Snell, trading for Dylan Cease, trading for Corbin Burns, which are not realistic expectations because the Angels don't have the prospects to go get those guys. But him or Blake Snell or somebody like that changes this offseason for the Angels, because now you're going into the season thinking we've got a chance. We signed our pitcher that we've been needing.
You have a young core. You never know what happens.
Yeah, we've got the young core. It's like, now it's throw in a guy here, throw in a guy there, and all of a sudden this offense, like you throw in a Tim Anderson, you throw in a Teoscar Hernandez or someone like that, and it's, oh hey, all of a sudden this offense has a chance to be something good.
Yeah.
And we're not asking right now. We're asking the offense to score seven runs a game with the pitching staff we're going to run out there. You add a Yamamoto, you add another Marcus Stroman type of guy, and all of a sudden it's, hey, just go out there and score 4 runs a game. You score 4 runs a game, we're going to give you a chance to win.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing. That's why, yes, the Angels' actual chance for winning is 2 years from now when Neto's been in the league for 3 years, when Shanuel's been in the league for 3 years. Rendon's contract is 1 year away from being gone. You got Silseth and Detmers who have really cemented themselves. Logan O'Hoppy's in there. You just put yourself in a really good spot, but do what good teams do, smart teams do, and go a year or two early. The Phillies were not World Series championship caliber team when they signed Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper changed the way that organization went about it. And it was like, hey, Bryce, you come here, you have made us an instant World Series champion contender in 2 years. And what do you know? He's done that.
Yeah. Yeah. And we've done this before. We get a lot of comments on it. We get a lot of hate. It's like, we're not the most optimistic podcast out there. We try to give it to you guys straight. Like we just said it. The window probably is not next year for the Angels, right? Like they have a good young core, but how often do not the Detroit Tigers, do the Arizona Diamondbacks happen, right? Like it doesn't happen that often where a young core of guys like that goes to the World Series, right? It takes some time. Like we saw Baltimore, and it was like, dude, we see flashes of Baltimore being really freaking good, and look at them now; they're going to be real good for a while. The Diamondbacks, we said it a while back. It was like, dude, watch out for the Diamondbacks. That farm system's really good.
What's the difference between the Diamondbacks and the other young cores?
What? I actually don't.
They have one of the 3 best pitchers in the National League.
Yeah, Zach Gallen. Yeah, no, I agree.
They have an ace. They have an ace, and that changes the direction of organizations. To have a guy that you can lean on in big games, that's outstanding. Shohei Ohtani was that for us for a couple of years, and we just don't know Shohei Ohtani is going to be that guy ever again. But we know Yamamoto is going to be that guy for the next 8-10 years here in America, and I like the chances of him being a Rookie of the Year and a Cy Young candidate.
I am sold. I'm just letting you know. I'm pretty sold on it. You got go. Perry doesn't listen to this podcast. Not very many people do. Go get Yoshinobu Yamamoto, please. Like start building for the future. You have a good young core of guys. Now go get that dude. That's why we were preaching Aaron Nola so hard, right? It was like, go get Aaron Nola, like go get him on a 6-7 year deal. Now you have your ace. Start building around that guy. You have Trout in the outfield. You have those. You built around Trout. Like we've been saying, build around Trout forever. You finally built around Trout. You didn't go spend money around Trout. You built around Trout. You put Logan O'Hoppy. You put Zach Neto. Who else you got? Nolan Shanwell. I know you don't love Shanwell. Taylor Ward stepped up. You have Joe Adele. I mean, you built around you, and I know a lot of those guys haven't been best, but you built around. You built around Mike Trout. You need another piece or two to build around him, but go build around a pitcher now too and see what happens. You have the makings of a good rotation. Go be a great rotation. So the window isn't yet. It's coming. It will be coming down the road. There's a lot of learning experiences, but I'm excited if the Angels can sign a starting pitcher like this. Nate, you sold me on it. I'm not going to tell you that very often. You sold me on it. I still don't believe in closers, but
no, you still believe in closers. You mentioned it already once on the podcast.
Nope, not.
We'll play it back if we have to.
Let us know your thoughts on Yoshinobu Yamamoto, please. We'd love to hear it. Hear about it. We're all in here on the Yamamoto train. I'm gonna call it the Yamamoto train. We'll go with that. So, with all that being said, guys, thank you so much for listening and watching. Go ahead and subscribe wherever you are doing so. You can follow us on all our social medias, Instagram, Facebook, just like Talking Halos. Follow myself on X at Jared_Tim's, Nate at Nate Green 34. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Have a great rest of your day.